What's up? What's up? I'm back with another video, and yeah, I'm super stoked to have this guest, a very close friend of mine, here with us today. Kind of going to go over his e-com journey, where he's quietly doing six figures a month, and seeing his journey, seeing the things that he's accomplished. It's super inspirational. And I feel like he has a lot of information, valuable information at that, to provide to not only myself, but to you guys as well. So I want you guys to give a big round of applause to my man, Julian.
I appreciate that, John. I just love that we like connect so much, especially when I used to live in Boston. I live in DC now. So glad that I met you. I just love that we just like connected, but I'm really,
100%.
really eager just to share my knowledge, especially like I do six figures a month consistently. So I have so much to share. So I'm
Exactly.
all yours today. Ask me any questions. I really can't wait to share with like your audience, especially people that are interested in ecom, that want to start or may actually be doing it, may not be doing it at the level that I'm doing it, but they want to get to that level. So I'll
Exactly.
definitely share my knowledge.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, like you mentioned before, I'm super stoked that we met, and it's been amazing. I mean, from the trips to New York, to
Oh
even
yeah.
going to like the real estate events that we went to. I feel like we connect on a different level. We both have the entrepreneurial spirit, and I feel like that has allowed us to kind of feed off each other and be able to kind of keep that relationship strong. And then we both have crazy sense of humor, so it just allows us to kind of make fun of certain things. But also when there's a time and a place, we could keep it strictly business. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I'm super stoked that I met you. A little disappointed that you moved back home, but it was for the best, as you can see. And yeah, man, like I mentioned before, I'm super proud of you. And just seeing that journey and how you've kind of turned everything around. Even with your first store, and we'll get into that later. But even with your first store, it was just something that I was like, wow, this is amazing. And you hear all the stories online. You hear people, oh, we're doing 100,000, $500,000 a month, but they never really have anything to back that up. I mean, you had everything, and you did it super quietly. You weren't out here flaunting certain things or trying to sell courses right off the bat. It's a little different now because you've actually built a system, and you've actually built a business that's valuable, and that's actually doing numbers. So I mean, doing stuff like that, you could shorten a lot of people's curve. But I see a lot of people online that they over exaggerate their numbers. They haven't really made money in that space yet. But you're super authentic, and I definitely appreciate that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people here watching today will appreciate that as well. So yeah, so before we get into it, I already know, but I'm pretty sure that the viewers would love to know, what was life before ecom, and what were you doing for money prior to this?
Yeah. So before ecom, I'll take you back. Weirdly, like for me, I wouldn't say that I didn't always want to be an entrepreneur. I always did want to like make a lot of money. Right? Even there was a time that I just like wanted to be like an astronaut. I honestly just like wanted to be like well known for something, right?
Yeah.
I'd call it more like mastery, right?
Mhm.
Now that I think back to then where I always wanted to like master something, it's kind of sweet that like that's always something because now that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm like really trying to master this skill. So freshman year, went through college, actually went to Howard, and I decided, like I said, I wanted to make a lot of money. So I said I was going to be a neurosurgeon because they make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, they do. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So I majored in bio and I always hated high school. Like I despised like the schooling aspect, the social aspect. That was my fun thing. And I also ran track. I also ran track in college. So I get to college and most people are telling me that college is going to be different. Like what they're going to teach you is actually going to make you money. It'll be like actual real skills. It's going to be more exciting. First couple classes, first like 2 weeks of college, it's honestly just the same old shit. It's super boring. I'm damn near falling asleep, especially I run track. At that time, this is the start of the season. I'm running like damn near 80-mile weeks. I'm running 80 miles a week. So I'm damn near like falling asleep in class. And I just realized, honestly, in the first 2, 3 weeks of college, like this is honestly the exact same thing as high school. They dead ass lied to me and said that it was going to be different, but it was exactly the same.
Yeah, selling a
And
dream.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They sold me exactly the dream. And from that time, I was like, you know what? I honestly didn't go to classes. I honestly damn near stopped going to classes. You guys probably shouldn't do that. don't do that, but that's honestly what I did, and I spent my time just, like, scouring the internet, seeing I was like, "I don't wanna go this route, don't wanna do the whole 9 to 5, I don't think I wanna be a surgeon." Tons of years of school, just started scouring the internet of how to make money online, and I found e-com, I found real estate, just a bunch of different things. So I started, and then COVID kinda hit, which I'm honestly blessed for. Like, COVID hit, so then I was boom, couldn't go. My parents were pretty strict, didn't allow me to, like, see friends, so I was literally just cramped in the house with all, because I actually have 2 other younger brothers, and that's when I started my first business. I created an ebook, and yeah, I created an ebook, made a little bit, had a little bit of saw a little bit of success, and made $2,000, which at that time, that was a lot, and it was
Really is.
money from online, people that I'd never met, so it felt like I called it like sky money. This was
I
like
like that.
felt like I cracked a code. It
Mhm.
was insane. So I did ebook was my first thing. Then I just wasn't quite able to get sales. So I was like, oh, fuck. And then second thing, I tried day trading. I think the most I ended up making I think like $7,000, which
Shit, it's a
again,
lot
as
more than most people.
yeah, I was like, "Holy fuck." But I lost it all. I lost it all. I started from, like, fucking $400 and
Mhm.
within only, like, a few trades, because this was COVID, so, like, the stocks were just going up and down,
Yep.
and I also did
You're
option
volatile.
trading, so it was, like it was insane, and then I lost it all, so I did that. Then after that, I did real estate, I did, wholesaling, right?
Yep.
I stuck with that for like about a year and a half, no days off, like literally no days off. And out of all that, I literally only got one deal for it was a joint venture, which I made $1,000. Literally a year and a half, $1,000. Then, which is insane. Then I got back into e-com, which again, that was like my first ebook. It's the exact same thing. E-com
Yeah.
is just selling things online. That's so then I got into e-com, started a wine decanter store. I took that up to about $1 million in revenue.
Wow. Yeah.
But by the end of it, it was like barely any profit. Honestly, like barely any profit. And then I started the brand that I have now, which was a supplement brand,
Mhm.
and it just went through the roof, almost
With
honestly,
dessert.
almost instantly. And then I stacked subscriptions on top of it. So I had long-term LTV is what we called long-term value, and it just started to compound. And
Mhm.
that's pretty much what brings me to where I'm at right now, doing consistently 6 figures a month.
Which is amazing, which is and I remember when you started the wine decanter, I remember one thing that you told me is the strategy that you used for that was to sell to rich people because it's almost the same amount of effort to sell to someone that isn't rich to someone that is rich, or to,
Yeah.
sell at a higher price point. The effort, the measurement of effort is basically the same, just a higher price point and a different demographic. So, how do you feel like what gave you that idea for the first store with the wine decanters? One, what gave you the idea to do wine decanters? And then two, what made you want to sell to people that had more money that, like I said, it's the same effort, but sometimes they may be a little harder to sell just because usually, I don't want to have I don't want to generalize anything, but usually people that have more money are kind of, they take that cautionary measure before just buying something online. They kind of want to do as much research as possible. So how did you get into that and what made you want to do that? And then what made you want to sell to, that higher household income? Because what I've seen, people that have wine decanters are usually making a good amount of
Oh,
money
for
every
sure.
year. You know what I mean? So normal people just don't have wine decanters. So what gave you that idea to get into wine decanters and then sell to that price point?
Yeah. So my mom, she's not like a huge like wine drinker or anything like that. But this one Christmas, she came to it was like a family like Christmas dinner with like a
Hmm.
bunch of her, like our uncles and like cousin. And she had like this really cool, it was a glass wine decanter, very whimsical. It was almost like a tube, almost it was like in a U shape. And
Hmm.
that just was like super, super cool to me. And when she brought it to the table, my uncle was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I've never seen this before. Where did you buy it?" Right. So that stuck with me. Now, when I was searching for a product to sell, I was scrolling on AliExpress and I was really trying to start a kitchen store. So I think I typed in like something like wine glasses and I just like kept like scrolling. I went to like the second, third, I went to like the third page. maybe like the fourth page. And I saw a wine decanter that was like able to like, it was able to spin. And I was like, oh my God, this is
Right.
so cool. I've never seen this before. And then I saw it, showed it to my mom. And the first thing that my mom said was, where can I buy? I'd love to buy it. So that was literally all that I needed because
Yep.
I've heard of this one thing is you show your ad, show your advertisement to, people that buy this thing. And if they say, oh, it looks cool, and that, what you're really trying to hear is, where can I buy? So I
Yeah.
heard that, and that's pretty much all I needed, set up the store, and it was just on from there. And the reason why that I love to sell to it's definitely good. I thought of selling to rich people is when you sell to rich people, they have money, so you can sell things at a higher price.
That's true.
And because I my way of getting customers isn't organic, which is just like posting things online. I use paid ads, so I have to pay for my customers. So when you sell higher price items, you have enough margin to still be able to pay for the customer and you make the rest. So that's the reason why that I love selling things for hire.
Perfect, perfect. Love that, love that. Okay, yeah, no, I love that explanation. And it does make sense. But yeah, like you mentioned before, you want to hear is where can I buy? Because everything else goes out the door if they're not buying, right?
Y
So people could say whatever about the products, but what you really want to hear is where can I get this? How fast can
mm,
it come in and just take my money? So I love that, because ads do, they need to be accounted for. And I feel like a lot of people don't account for that when they're, trying to scale an e-com brand is that if your cost per acquisition to get someone in is way too high, and it's higher than, let's say, what it takes to get your product in, you're probably not going to be profitable. Would you agree, or is there some sort of way around that? Obviously, organic. You could go the organic route, but if you're just solely running ads, I mean, your cost per acquisition has to kind of be in alignment to your product cost and everything else that helps run the business. Would you say that's the right way to go about it?
yeah, 100%. There's literally no way around it. Like,
Mm.
that's the only way. I guess
Okay.
really the only thing is, like, sell more items, but of course the re the reason why you'd sell more items is so that you can increase your price. So that's
Yeah.
that's really it. No way
Okay.
around it. You gotta
Okay. Yeah.
sell high price shit.
The high price, exactly, and I feel like if you have too many items, at least I know for me, from my standpoint, is if a store has, let's say, 40, 50 items and they all kinda do the same thing, or maybe they're a little different, I kinda
Mm.
get that decision fatigue where I'm just like, "I don't know what to buy. I'm gonna go somewhere else." Would you say, like, I know then you didn't have 1,000 different products, you had a select few amount of products that had different designs, that had different purposes. Like you said, they spun certain stuff like that. Would you say having, you know, too many items on your store decreases that conversion rate? Or would you say the more items allows people to have more of a broad scope of what they want to get, and it can also increase that average order value?
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely a very, very interesting. I'd say as a beginner, it's better for you to honestly, only focus on a core, I call it hero product that drives everything. Because you
Okay.
just don't have enough resources to advertise everything. And
Okay.
I'd say the other products on your store are more for after the person buys that hero product that I said
Hmm.
before that you're mainly advertising, the people will come back to buy the other products, or you'll advertise it in a way cheaper way because Facebook or these like paid advertising just super, super expensive.
Yeah,
You'll
exactly.
advertise it in a bit different, I'd say more like email and SMS after they buy. That's a better route instead of advertising all those products. Because also, let's be honest, most people aren't a Target or like a Walmart, and these places, these like big brands, they built up so much like brand loyalty that people, even just first time customers, are going to come into like Target or like a Walmart or any type of grocery store and buy a shit ton of products all at once. For
Yeah,
most
exactly.
brands, that's not how it works. They'll just buy 1, 2. Even Amazon. Think about when you go to Amazon, you're not buying 10, 20. That doesn't typically happen. Normally, you buy one thing, and
Hmm.
then down the line, you really like that item, you'll come back and buy other things, or you'll see their email, other advertisement, and come back. But it all starts with one. So if you're a
Yeah.
beginner, start off with that one product. Fuck
Love
all
that.
everything else, just start off with
Exactly,
one.
exactly. Like you mentioned, it's like the Walmarts, the Targets, they already have that brand loyalty. So I go into a Target, I know, okay, I could get cat litter, I could get some snacks, I could get a whole bunch of things. It's a little different. 'Cause I mean, if I go into a random store that I've never heard of, especially online, and I'm like, okay, am I going to spend all this money on all these products? I mean, will I even get these products? Are these products even good? So yeah, I like how you mentioned, as a beginner, you don't have the resources just yet to go all in and have a whole bunch of different products. So stick with that hero product. I totally agree with that. I think that's the best strategy to implement as a beginner. And then if you want to add on other products, once you see that there is a market for what you're selling, I'd say wouldn't you, add a few more that kind of are in alignment to the first hero product?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So, what actually made you want to try a drop shipping and going into the e-com space instead of just watching videos on YouTube like everyone else? Like, what said? Because I know you, like you said, you were in the wholesale and you day traded and you've done these things and you feel like, okay, this is just not for me. What made you want to say, okay, let me go all in this and try to turn this into a real business that generates significant amount of profits?
Yeah, so I'll answer in two different ways. So after I tried real estate and I just wasn't able to get it to work, right?
Yeah.
It works, but I just wasn't able to get it to work, right? I just didn't have what it takes, didn't have the skills. And I decided to switch to do ecom. So I went back into it and it just ended up, it worked. Now, the second thing, what separates me from a lot of other people is that they get pretty much trapped and they actually get fulfillment from watching people do the actual thing that they want to do, watching
Mhm.
people succeed in ecom on YouTube videos, watching education content and the way my mind is built and I don't quite understand those people. Like it's extremely hard for me to understand those people is that
Yeah,
how the fuck are they trapped and they're content watching other people win? Because that's exactly
exactly,
what it is. I'm
exactly,
not gonna watch other people win and live the life that I want. That's not how I get my fulfillment at all.
exactly.
So I get fulfillment from actually trying it out in actual action.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's so true. I feel like a lot of people do get fulfillment in watching other people win. And then also, I feel like another big thing for a lot of people that are just trying to educate themselves online is they try to be perfect. And you don't have to be perfect to start anything. I feel like you start it and then you learn as you go. And I feel like a lot of people that try to be perfect, they get stuck in what I like to call the analysis paralysis, is where they overanalyze things and they take up so much information that then they start second guessing certain decisions and then they just never start. So I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs should just go in. It's okay to watch a video or two to kind of get the gist of stuff, but after that, it's time to it's time to start. It's time to take action. And I feel like without that action, you know, you won't succeed in anything. So I like that you said that. It's really that fact of get I mean, I'm the same way. I don't get fulfillment in watching other people win. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's nice, good for them. But I have my own family that I want to support. I have my own life goals. Watching someone else do it, I just feel like, damn, what am I really doing here? Allowing someone else that, they don't have to be smarter. They may
Yeah.
not have the same work ethic, but, I know what I have and I know the attributes that I can bring to the table in a business. Why am I not going and taking action? Why am I not moving forward? And I feel like a lot of people get stuck in that, analysis paralysis, trying to be perfect. And the best entrepreneurs, they don't try to be perfect. They just try to start, learn from their mistakes, and not make the same mistakes later on. And that
Yeah.
way they can grow their business and scale their business to certain levels. So yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. So when you started this, and I feel like a lot of people don't really know what a good number is, but when you started this, how much money did you start with when you started your e-com journey? When it came with the wine decanters, because I know it was a little different from after wine decanters to the new business now, and we'll talk about that later. But a lot of people get so caught up on they may not have enough money to start. What did you start with, and how did you allocate that money into certain areas to be able to scale to that next level without, you know, running through all your funds?
Yeah. So I'll say what I started with. Kind of interesting because I lost my job during that time that I started and really went hard with the wine decanter store. So I had about $5,000. That's how much that I had
Mhm.
to allocate to the business, and luckily that really it really like took off. And then I had a business credit card to really like scale it, but
Okay.
it all started from like my own money. So I had $5,000, but what I'd recommend people that are starting is they need some sort of like consistent income, right? They need like a job,
Yeah.
right? Consistent income coming in. And I'd say they need about 2000 to start, and they need to be able to put $1,000 to the business every month. That's like rolling till it
I like
ends up
that.
working.
Okay, I
Then
like
they
that.
could use credit to really get that up. But just I'd recommend people to use all their own money to start, no credit till
Okay.
later.
Oh, yeah, until you see, like, this is working, so you don't
Yeah.
put yourself in debt. Okay, no, that makes sense, that makes sense. So how long before or how long did it take you to see your first profitable month when you started that first store?
Yeah. So the wine decanter, it honestly was profitable the first month.
Oh, wow.
Like it was very, very quick, right? Yeah, that was like it honestly was like the first month. But of course, like my journey of entrepreneurship was a 6-year journey. So
Yeah,
I gained a bunch
exactly.
of skills during that. It's not typical for someone to first start their store and be profitable the first month.
Yeah, no,
But for that
exactly.
store, I was profitable the first month.
Love that, love that. No, that's amazing. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, obviously, not everyone is profitable the first month, and I feel like a lot of people just give up after that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a journey, like you said, it was a 6-year entrepreneurial journey where you gained a lot of skills, and you were able to, kind of transfer those skills over to what you were doing with the wine decanters. So I feel like a lot of people get discouraged when they don't see the profits the first month because everyone's story is not the same, right? So for the viewers out there, you may see profits the first month, you may see profits the first week, you may not see profits until 6 months into the business, maybe a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
That's just business. Like you heard him say, it was a 6-year journey. Business is not an overnight thing. I think I heard it before from I forgot who I was watching, but they said there's different stages to business, and it's like a 10-year journey in all to really get to that level where where you can it's generational wealth that's been, generated, right? But I feel like a lot of people, they don't get profitable quick enough, and they're like, "Okay, let me go to this. Let me go to this industry. Let me start this business now."
Yeah.
Just to realize that the grass isn't greener on the other side. It may seem greener, but on the other side, it's still shit, right? So
Yeah.
it's just like I feel like everyone's story is different, and you just gotta really gotta hold it down for that
Oh yeah.
timeline. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
And that's why I feel like the grass is never really greener. It's just another person's shit, or just you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Other shit or
Yeah. Yeah.
problem,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
for sure. Definitely feel
But
that.
so what would you say was your biggest mistake early on? And how'd you overcome that so you don't make the same mistake later on? And we are back. We just took a brief break, but to go on where we left off, it looks like I asked you what were the biggest mistakes that you made first on when you first began. And it took you a little time to think about that, which is really good because I feel like business, you got to pay down that ignorance curve or that ignorance debt. It's like school, right? You take 4 years to get to a certain point where you absorb all the information. You may not know everything day one. Well, business is the same thing. And I like to call it that ignorance debt. So what was your what was your biggest mistake or biggest mistakes when you first started that first store that now you look back on it like, oh, okay, I've learned that. That's not something I'll make again.
I'd say first, the mistake that I made on the first store is to think of the business more as a whole.
Hmm.
What I mean by that is, cool. At the beginning, we were really good at getting like the customers like for the first time, but they weren't coming back, right?
Okay.
And a really good business is a business that has returning customers. So that's one mistake that I made is not thinking about how am I going to get a customer, not just one time, but to come again and again and again. Because that's extremely, extremely valuable. So that's the
Exactly.
first mistake. Second mistake, when I scaled, like things were doing really, really good, but I neglected the back end. What I mean by back end is when you're getting a lot of customers at a time, like you need people answering your email, you need a really, really good customer support team. And I only had like one person at the time,
Hmm.
right? And when you're doing numbers, you need a full-time customer support. When a customer comes to you with a problem, you need to be able to respond really, really quick. And that's something that I neglected. So those are the two mistakes that I definitely had.
Perfect, perfect. And like you mentioned, returning customers is key. It allows you to it allows you not to have to continuously find new customers, right? These are
Yeah.
people like if they're in the SMS under subscription, and that's why you kind of changed to the subscription model. But then I remember you talking about the memberships as well, which is like, I was like, it makes sense. You get rewarded when you buy. So yeah, no, I totally agree on that. And then the back end as well. I totally agree with you on that as well. Just because people want to feel heard if they have an issue, right?
Yeah.
People want to make sure that like their problems can be solved in a reasonable manner of time. So yeah, I think those are two very good points. But now to pivot on to the new store. So you learned the mistakes, you did well on that first store. And now that second store is something where now you're doing consistently over 6 figures a month. You got a beautiful new apartment, two new Corvettes. Like,
Yeah.
just it's phenomenal. It's amazing. And to see it firsthand, it's like, wow, you went from the Corvette or to the from the Camaro to the Corvette, and
Yeah.
then you got a beautiful apartment. You're able to travel now, and yeah, just tell me what that pivot felt like. How did you find a winning product? And yeah, like where do you see yourself going with this business in the long term to consistently stay at that 6 month, 6 figures a month?
Yeah, so that honestly, the turning point was like really, 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 really quick. It wasn't slow at all. Like it was like a snap of my finger. It was almost instant.
Wow,
So the way that I
that's crazy.
found that product, I always wanted to be in subscriptions because that is like the best like returning model because the customer essentially agrees for on getting charged every single month. And at least for us, we do like an auto refill. So we send them a new product every single month. It's honestly the best. So I always wanted like some sort of like subscription, even with the wine decanter. Like I said to you, I was thinking of some sort of like VIP club. It's very similar
Hmm.
to like a Costco or like a Savage Fenci is probably one of the best in the like online space of like doing it. They sell like lingerie. So Rihanna actually started that brand. They do
Yeah,
extremely well,
extremely
especially
well.
with the VIP club.
Hmm.
And then I'm really, really always in tune with the space. So supplements was like this really, really big. Everyone's really trying to start like a supplement because supplements is something that you take every single like daily and it runs out.
Exactly.
So I found a really good supplement from the same supplier that I was using for the wine decanter store. He
Hmm.
recommended a supplement. So I decided to sell that, and that's pretty much the supplement that is my store right now that I'm selling on my store. So, and now what I plan to do with that store, I really plan on just growing my subscription list, right? And honestly adding more supplements, so adding
Hmm.
more SKUs to my store. And then another thing that I'm like super excited for is mastering like other platforms. Right now I'm just super heavy on Facebook and
Yeah,
Instagram, but I really want to plan on mastering YouTube and also mastering TikTok. And then third, I'd really love to get my product into the hands of like a lot of influencers. So it becomes
love
like
that.
more of like a real brand. And then later down the line, I'd love to actually like put my product into stores. So it becomes like
Love
an
that.
actual big brand that I can really, really, really stand behind and be extremely proud of it. And then further down the road, especially with my brand, I sell a lot to like older people. So it'll be pretty tough for me to be like the face of it. But down the road, I'll probably find an influencer that would be like really like the face of the brand.
Love that.
Especially if you look in the world of a bunch of different brands, even like Facebook, even like big brands like Facebook, which are like tech brands,
Yeah.
having a face to a brand, especially when someone thinks of the brand and goes to the website, is just so magical. It really adds like a human element to your brand.
No, exactly. Totally agree with that. Totally agree. And I think that's an amazing plan to have down the road, especially with the mastering of the platforms. Even like I know you were mentioning to me before, like YouTube stuff. I see YouTube ads all the time, and if they're interesting enough, or if they, if that hook catches me, I'm clicking. And I want more information. And if it's good, I might buy. I've actually bought luggage from a YouTube ad. Forgot what the luggage company's called, but I still have the luggage, and that was just from a YouTube ad. So I feel like I love that you said you're trying to master other platforms, and I heard that Facebook is like a data company, and everything else is you just take the data from Facebook to add it to other platforms, right? But yeah, and even what you said, having a face of the brand, it's almost just like with certain brands where they'll have Sabrina Carpenter or they'll have like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. When I look at that brand, I'm like, or even Terry Crews with Old Spice, right? When you
Yeah.
look at that brand, you're like, oh wow, like this is what Terry Crews uses. You know what I mean? And it's just like
Yep.
it really it allows you to kind of relate to the brand in a sense where you're not being sold to per se. And I feel like it humanizes everything. It's just like, okay, I like Terry Crews. I used to watch, I'm pretty sure everyone used to watch Everyone
Yeah.
Hates Chris, right? And that's what I know in White Chicks, right? And
Yep, everybody hates Chris.
exactly. Everyone hates Chris. And then I love his part in White Chicks as
Yeah,
well.
that's my
You know what
best.
I mean?
When you
It's
listen to
like,
that one song, that
yeah,
shit is so
what is it, 1,000 Miles, right?
yeah, 1,000
Yeah,
Miles, that's a
1,000
good enough
Miles.
name.
And that's kind of like he was like the face for that song for a bit because
Yeah.
everyone was listening to 1,000 Miles after him and him dancing in the car. So it's just like with the Old Spice, it's like nah, you kind of put two and two together. Like I'm a big fan of him. He's using it. I mean, I like their branding as well. You know, maybe I'm gonna buy some Old Spice. So I love how you mentioned that. Just having a face for the brand, and then that UGC is just it's a killer. And I feel like having those people be able to push your brand, it builds that trust factor, especially for people that are religiously obsessed with some of these celebrities or influencers, whatever the case is. They kind of do whatever they say in a sense. Like some of these people actually like worship these influencers, and if these influencers are pushing something, they're gonna try it just because the person that they like to listen to, watch, or whatever the case is pushing that product. So I think that's amazing. That you're trying to master those platforms and then get a face for the company. What would you say when it comes to Facebook ads? Do you rely more on? Well, no. Let me reword that. Do you rely more on TikTok trends, Facebook ads, or product research tools to be able to kind of see what that next move is when it comes to advertising and also just finding your winning product? How did you come across? I know you said you came across because supplements was big and someone referred you to it, but what made you say, okay, this specific product is going to be the product I push, and opposed to maybe a patch or pills or whatever the case is? What kind of gave you that deciding factor?
Honestly, like, I knew, especially, like, from my supplier, that specific product, I knew that it sold a lot because he
Yeah,
told me. But for, like, beginners who just don't quite know, I'd say for most beginners, don't get so, like, focused in the whole, like, product research. Honestly, it shouldn't take you that long. You should be able to find, honestly, even for a beginner, like 20 products in a day, and
yeah,
that's most of them are good. Right? Obviously, don't sell like a water bottle or some dumbass shit like that that is obviously way oversold. Or even yeah, so definitely not, but honestly, most products are good, right? Most supplements, like, you can sell, right?
yeah,
Especially with the supplement, if you, like, white label it. So, like, what white labeling is just changing the actual, like, packaging so it looks like a completely new product. Customers won't know the difference. It'll look like a brand new, different, and you just call it something different.
yeah, exactly.
That's the great thing about things like supplements or even like beauty. You just change the packaging, call it something different, and say what it just changes the product like totally. And I really stand behind the statement. Winning products are made, and they're made by your marketing.
Marketing.
So, like,
Yep.
your marketing has to be extremely good. And then going by what you said by TikTok, I'd say, like, trends, at least right now, what I see, TikTok is just so big, even for, like, old people as well. TikTok
Yeah.
just all the trends start on TikTok, and then it just goes everywhere else. Like, TikTok
Mhm.
is, like, the birth of all these fucking dumbass, like, all these trends,
Yep.
and they all start from TikToks.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to think about, like, playing video games or something, right? Just do something that's like brain dead. Honestly, just spend your time just scrolling on TikTok and you'll pick up these trends, find
Mhm.
all sort of products, and maybe you'll randomly, because TikTok also has like TikTok Live now, which is quite interesting.
It
One
is.
trend that I also see on TikTok, which I'm sure is going to be super big. I on like these TikTok lives, they're actually like girls, and honestly, a lot of it kind of starts in like China. That's pretty. China actually pretty
I've
much
seen that.
owns TikTok, so they kind of control all the trends. There's actually like people on TikTok Live that are
Yes.
selling products. It's
Mhm. I've
almost
seen
like
that.
if you remember on, like, TV on those, like, weird forget those, like, networks that they just, like, sell jewelry and just,
Oh
like
my god, I know what you're talking
yeah,
about. Yep.
yeah, it's that's essentially happening on TikTok now. It's
Yeah.
insane, and they
It's
just
insane.
brand just pays them probably, like,
Mhm.
per hour to
Yep.
just sell their stuff. That's happening on TikTok now. So that's definitely a trend that I see that brands are going to be paying influencers just to pretty much show up themselves out.
Literally,
Pretty
yeah,
much sell
literally.
their soul. and
Literally,
get on
literally.
TikTok live and sell their
For
dumb
hours.
products.
Yeah, for hours. I
Yeah,
see
for
it so
hours.
much, and people do, like, goofy stuff too, like, people will be doing the weirdest things to grab people's attention just to sell them a product, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, like, this is crazy." What this is and it's so funny that you mentioned the networks with the jewelry. I used to see those things all the time, and it's
Yeah.
on some weird channel that you never click on, but, yeah, they're selling their jewelry, 29.99 today, but or it was normally 59.99, but today
Yeah.
only you can get it for 29.99. I think that was like the birthplace of where TikTok probably got that idea to then incorporate it into the TikTok lives and then selling to people that are watching their lives. Because if they already have an audience, I'm pretty sure these brands already know that if they have an audience, people are going to tune in. And if they tune in and they're doing something that catches their attention, we
Yeah.
could easily get them to sell our product. So I think that's funny, and I think that's a smart way to kind of get your brand out there, being able to get on TikTok and get influencers that, have lives because people do religiously watch those lives. And how do you feel about getting like people that have like podcasts, like something that we're doing right now, just bigger podcasts to then pay them to advertise? Do you think that is a good marketing plan to do? And if so, how do you calculate the metrics on that? Because it's kind of hard to be like, okay, how many people came? I guess you could. I don't know. Is there a way to kind of? Is there like a pixel where it tells you, okay, this many people came from this exact YouTube? Is there some? But how do you feel about doing that? And is that something you would incorporate?
Yeah, so I'll kind of answer both. I'll answer both questions. So one, it's definitely extremely smart for a brand to definitely pay to get their products out there, right? For especially like for awareness and just to honestly get sales to like a podcast. So extremely smart. The reason why honestly a podcast is better than a lot of other in influencer like forums, so media forums. But the great thing about a podcast is that the audience, podcasts are long.
Yeah,
So the audience is with you for so long and they really feel like they know you. So like that trust is extremely, extremely strong.
yeah, that's true.
So you'll have most likely a higher conversion on that instead of honestly like TikTok influence. So people that make short form content
Yeah,
because they're not with you for a really, really long period of time.
exactly.
So that's the reason that brands should definitely pay to get their products out and get shouted out on podcasts. And then two, how would you like track that? So one, you'd always, if you could, give them like a link that is trackable,
Hmm.
so a link that is trackable. And then thirdly, some people aren't even going to like click the link. They're just going to like know the brand. So it's really, really tough to track, but you'll kind of track the day when the podcast like comes out. So you'll definitely see like an uptick,
Yeah,
right? Then third, a lot of time you could pay really, 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 really big influencers and honestly not even break even, right?
sure.
You're honestly paying them just for the awareness because
Yeah, that brand
a
awareness. Yep.
customer journey is long. Honestly, a customer journey is not quick. Like it's
Yeah,
extremely long. Most people don't convert the first time that they hear of a brand. I don't even convert the first time that I hear someone's brand. So
yeah.
you honestly pay for that awareness and at least that person knows you. And then down the line, they'll see your other advertisement and then eventually convert.
Convert. Okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I like how you said that. Yeah. If you're watching someone's podcast, you've been with them for a certain amount of time, you're seeing certain things that they've done. The trust factor is there, right?
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, no, I like that. Yeah. And then having that trackable link. So I didn't even think about that. I think that's extremely smart to have because then you can kind of track the metrics. Okay, how many people coming from this link because we gave them this link. And then whatever discount code or whatever the case is, you can, do that as well. But what I just really this question I've always wanted to know from different people, right? Because everyone says something different because everyone's brand is different. But for you, and maybe just for the broader audience as well, what makes an ad creative convert in your eyes?
That's a great question. So I'd say the advertisement needs to be personalized. Like actually, it needs to be hyper personalized to the specific customer. That it feels like the ad is speaking to them, right? And is most people buy things because it is going to fulfill some sort of need, some sort of want, right? It's
Yeah,
going to provide some sort of outcome that they want. So that ad needs to call whatever that is out to that customer, right? That is essentially what makes like a that makes a perfect ad. It needs to be hyper personalized to that.
Okay, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. You don't want to call out too many different things. I
Yep.
know you mentioned that before. Calling out too many different things, someone might agree with one thing and then be like, "Wait, that's not me. Oh, now this product's not for me." So, like how you said, that hyper personalized and just grab their attention with that pain point that they may have, just one of them. And would you prefer UGC ads, AI ads, or studio style ads, or native or still? What do you feel like works best, not only for you, but for someone that's just starting out? What would you feel like? What route should they go?
So for me, I'm really good at UGC. I'm really good at UGC. So I'd recommend for someone that's just starting out, do UGC because I'd say UGC, honestly.
Mhm.
I honestly haven't cracked other forms, right? There's natives, which you just spoke of, native ads, and also like studios style ads, right? And all
Yeah,
those work, right? Even like basic static images work. They
yeah,
literally all work, right? They're just different formats, right?
exactly.
So you can, and I've also heard, and I talked to other people, yeah, essentially all formats work, and you could essentially say the exact same message in like another format, and it can still work as well. But at least for
Okay,
me, I'd say UGC is what I'd recommend someone else. Like if I was teaching it, because I understand UGC, but you
exactly.
can't go wrong with any. I'd say if you were going to master one, I'd say like image would be the best because it's the cheapest to create, and you can create relatively quick.
Okay, okay, no, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. So with the UGC, I think totally agree with you on that. I feel like people can relate to it more. They're seeing like someone else using it. They're like, okay, they're using it. It worked for them. Maybe I should use it now. How many creatives do you think someone should test per products? Because I feel like a lot of people get lost in that. Like, am I going to test one creative? Am I going to test 10 to 15 creatives? Like, what's a good number for someone to test per product? How many creatives do you think they should be tested?
Yeah, I'd say 100 creatives. So
Ooh,
the yeah, 100 creatives
he hit a home run with that. He went big. He said, "Yeah, I'm going big or going home." A
for
hundred
sure.
creatives. Okay, 100. I like that number. Okay, okay, 100 creatives. Now, for you guys watching that, you heard him. Listen, don't kill the messenger. 100
Yeah.
creatives, what you guys should be testing. Now, what would you say for those 100 creatives? Should you have separate budgets? Should you put it all under one campaign? And then just have certain test ad sets, and then having that one campaign, let's say 300 a day, and just take from that, or should each one get its own campaign?
Yeah. So my campaign is very, very simple. Just do one campaign. It needs to be a CBO, right? Which what a CBO essentially does. You also mentioned like ad sets, how many ad sets, right? Once you turn that button on CBO, and Facebook actually already has it automatic. So once you set up a campaign, you're actually already doing a CBO. You'd have to like turn it off to do ABO. So do one campaign, CBO. You can have as many ad sets. It doesn't really matter because the CBO is just going to distribute the budget automatically to different ad sets. And the ads are also within the creatives are inside the ad set. So it's going to automatically distribute the budget automatically. So you're not forcing
Okay,
spend whatsoever. Right. So just like I said, you're going to have one campaign. And then I'd start off with probably 10 creatives, right? Run it at $100 a day budget, right? I'd say $50 is the minimum that you should start out with per day, but $100 is the best. So if you have 100, start off with $100 a day, and then I'd honestly just add 5 to 10 creatives every day, and then just keep
okay.
packing it in and
Keep
keep running
packing
at
it.
$100 a day until you either hit break even or you're profitable. And if you test 100 creatives and you aren't profitable, then just move on to the next product. But
Okay,
hopefully you are profitable, and then all you do is just crank up the budget. That's it.
crank up the
You don't have
budget.
to ask how much. You just keep cranking. It doesn't really matter.
Okay,
And then once
perfect,
you
perfect.
hit break even or you become unprofitable, once you've actually got a successful campaign, congrats. You just start adding more creatives.
Adding more
That's it.
creatives.
It's a creative game.
Yeah, no, really, it really is. It is a creative game. And with that $100 a day budget, how many days should you run those? And let's say you're not profitable for a certain amount of days. At what day should you kill that, or should you just try to figure out if you should maybe run it for another couple of days? Like, what's the time frame? Would you say that that an ad is just it's dead? I'm gonna kill this ad.
Yeah. So I'd say 3 days. So
3
300
days.
bucks and spend.
Okay.
how you spend, because some people may be spending $50 a day, which is
Mhm.
pretty small, at least to start off with. I'd say once you reach $300, the ad and it's not profitable, very unprofitable, the ad is cooked, it's done. Just,
Okay.
yeah, turn it off.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so 3 days, $300, and yeah, okay, perfect. Because a lot of people, including myself, it's just like sometimes you're like, okay, should we let this run, or should we just say, fuck it, let's do something else. So I think that's really good. 3 days, you should know, $100 a day. I think it's more than enough. I mean, and if you have more money, do you suggest that they go higher than that, maybe two, $300 a day, or just stay at a
Nah,
hundred?
nah, nah. The even if you have more money, $100 is just it's the perfect budget. And let's say you have like ton of money, right?
Hmm.
You could just start off with $300 just that day.
Yeah.
And just how I said that if you spend $300 on an ad, it's just not good. You'll just get the data quicker. So you'll know, at least you'll know in a day. So you just cut it that day, right? So you can
Okay.
move a bit faster. That's also the benefit of having more money to start off with. You can just move a lot quicker.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Perfect, perfect. Now, besides, let's say, the sales and everything like that, what other metrics tell you it's time to scale? Or is that maybe just the only thing that tells you it's time to scale, that the ad is profitable? But what if you're getting the $100 a day and it's just inconsistent? You know what I mean? Like, one day you may be profitable, the next day you may not be profitable, the next day you may not be profitable again, and then the next day you do, 2x ROAS. What other metrics can tell you that it's time to scale? And if your ad is consistently doing numbers, should there be any tweaks? How would you tweak that if so? Or should you just let that run until it becomes consistent enough to let you know clear as day that it's either a winner or a loser?
Yeah. So what I do for that, I would take a 7-day period, right? And if you take the 7-day period and it's unprofitable, then the ad is just bad. It's not good enough,
Okay.
right?
Okay, that
And
makes
if it
sense.
is profitable over the 7-day period, then it's good. And then if it's break even, you're gonna have to go back into the creative work and get a better creative because it should be profitable over a 7-day period.
Okay. So 7 days is kind of what tells you, okay,
Yeah.
this is exactly what needs to
Yeah,
happen. This is
especially
like,
with the inconsistencies. So if like one day it's unprofitable, one day it's really profitable. But over the 7-day period, if the profitable days don't fully outweigh the unprofitable days, so it's profitable, then that means it's not good. Yeah, you're gonna have to cut it.
okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. And we're gonna take a quick break again. He said Adderall. Adderall. I used to take Adderall.
The extended. Well, I'm
Oh
back on
shit.
it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm back on it.
Man, you must
The
hate
I
people at
used to
the
be
end of the day.
prescribed. I used to be prescribed too.
Huh? Yep. And like,
It's the best.
what are you taking? 20s, 15s,
20
20? How does the end of your day usually feel?
on it.
Yeah.
So I eat
Oh, you do?
before,
Oh, you
right?
eat
I eat
before.
before. I
Smart,
have to eat
smart,
before because
smart,
when you're
smart.
on it, that's a nut, bro. You'll get cut like really, really lean because you won't eat. Like
We'll
it's
eat
almost
anything.
impossible.
Literally.
Yeah. But for me, there's not really much of like a crash. Not really. It's quite smooth. Maybe there is a crash. Maybe there is a crash. One thing that
Uh-huh.
I definitely notice, I go to bed because I ADHD. Well, technically ADD without the hyperactive. So I'm not like
Okay.
super like hyper or impulsive or anything like that.
Yeah,
I
that
just
shit, that's
really
me.
yeah, for me it's super hard for me to like focus.
Okay.
And so Adderall it helps me to focus. And for me, I'm also like a big like daydreamer. So when I'm not on it, I'll just stay up forever. Like
Yeah, literally.
because when I'm not working and I'm fine it at the end of the day, my mind's actually able to like fully actually kind of start settle now down and start like thinking about like the thoughts. So
Yeah.
I normally go to bed at like 3 a.m. every single day.
Oh,
Like
wow. Yeah,
like
it's about
literally
nighttime.
just naturally. Now,
Yeah.
on the medication, I go to bed like 11 or
Really?
sometimes 10. So, I actually
Shit.
wake up more refreshed. So, that
Okay,
probably
shit.
is the crash, but the crash, at least for me, like, I'm actually go to bed at a normal time that most people, like, go to bed.
That's okay, wow. So I might have to, yeah, I might have to get prescribed to it again.
Bro, it's a game changer,
It
bro.
really is.
Yeah, bro, you're
I
able
used
to
to be
work
focused.
8 hours a day, like and we all work, I'm sure, 8 hours a day, right? But you could work when I say you're laser focused, bro, you're more organized, you're
Uh-huh.
completing way more. Like, I'm saying you're able to complete probably triple the amount of work every single day, so that
Yeah.
compounds. Like, bro,
Okay.
and if you really want to I don't recommend this, but if you take it later in the day, which is it's 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 bad. Like if you have to get a shit ton of work, right? I probably would take it like later in the day. So
Mhm.
'cause most people take it like in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So they're already feeling it like before they get to the work. But honestly, the best way is like it pretty much starts working as soon as you like start work. That's like the best. So it'll last
Oh,
longer.
wow.
So if you really want to, you could work like 12, 13-hour days.
Oh, wow. So what would you say is what time do you usually take it?
I normally take it like probably like 11. I wake up a little
11?
bit later. So like, yeah,
Okay.
11, like right after breakfast. It's always good to have like a big breakfast.
Okay, that makes sense. And then you just don't eat for, like, what, the rest of the day until, like, around this time?
Yeah, till like dinner.
Okay.
So like probably like 8.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, nah, I might have
Oh,
to
it's
get on that. I might have to get on that. That's,
yeah, it's a game changer.
yeah, no, I've been hearing that a lot. It's like, okay, should I do it? Does it make you feel weird? I haven't taken it in so long. Does it, like, make you feel weird? Because I have anxiety, so I
Yeah,
don't wanna.
no, there's no anxiety.
Okay, okay.
No
Perfect,
anxiety at
perfect.
all.
Kinda feel fearless, right? Okay, I
Yeah,
might
yeah, yeah, perfect facts.
okay.
Yeah, it's not it's a stimulant, right? So it's like
Yeah,
so you don't get that. It's not like weed where it makes
okay,
you feel like anxiety and like
okay.
bumps
No,
and
that
anything like that.
that
No,
makes
it's more
sense.
like an upper, more alert
Mhm.
and yeah, more focused.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, now I know. I'm about to get on it. About to get on it. But and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm definitely gonna try to get some next week, see what I could do. Maybe I have to see my
Tell you
doctor or whatever.
telling your business about to double.
Yeah, facts. 110%. 110%. So I'm definitely about to get on that. But yeah, I'm gonna ask you, let's see, three more questions and we'll be good. Let me just restart. Okay, perfect. So we are back. Another quick break, real quick. But to go on what we were talking about before, we kind of just went over everything. The different ad creatives, how many you should be testing, what your daily budget should be, etc. So I'm pretty sure the viewers would also like to know, what does your business look like behind the scenes? Because I know everyone's business is different behind the scenes, but that's the work that no one sees. Now, that's the work that really helps you scale your business. What does your business behind the scenes really look?
Yeah, so for me, right, I have, 2 younger brothers. We are the creative strategists, so we are the one that, like, write scripts out the ad. Then we have 4 video editors that bring it to life. Yeah, it takes a team. And then I also have 4 customer service agents that answer emails, and they're round the clock.
Wow.
So our response time is about 5 minutes, so it's really, really quick.
Wow. That
Yeah.
is that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
and then I
that it's
have an
really a
email
team.
a then I also have, like, an email agency. They take care of pretty much all the email flows and sending out email campaigns to my customers, so they also return.
Oh wow. Okay. And do
That's
you
just
run SMS as well, or
Yeah, yeah, they also take care of the SMS as well.
what do you say what would you say works better? Email or SMS?
Really, like, for SMS is quite expensive. At least for us, email just is outperforming SMS,
Really?
honestly.
Okay. Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Love that. And would you tell like someone that's beginning start with email first instead of
Yeah,
SMS?
yeah, I'd start with email first. Also, it's just
Okay.
so cheaper. SMS is just they also have, like, rules, a lot more rules about
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do,
how long your
unfortunately.
text can be and everything.
Yeah,
Email
and
is
then if
just more
they
simple.
yeah, it's a lot. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I love that. You have a full team. It's this I mean that's what if you want to go fast, you go by yourself. If you want to go far, you go with a team. So it's good that you have everyone in play and everyone has a set role. And they kind of do their own thing, and that helps the business thrive and reach to that next level. How do you deal with your suppliers in fulfillment? And then when something goes wrong, how do you pivot off of that to try to make things go right?
Yeah, so my supplier takes care of, like, fulfillment, like, everything, getting the
Okay.
package to the customer, right? And when something goes wrong, like, let's say it's comes broken, I don't have to do it anymore, but pretty much my team just lets the supplier know
Okay.
about the issue, and then he pretty much deals with it.
Okay.
Either refunds us, he pretty much takes full accountability of
Love that.
of that.
You built that relationship with him where,
Yeah.
he's like, okay, we have a great relationship. Obviously, you're making him money. He's making you money. So reciprocity is a thing there. So I'm assuming that, like you said, he takes full accountability just because he understands and he values that relationship, that business relationship as well. Awesome. Awesome. So thank you for that as well. But for those who have made it and for those who are trying to make it, what separates the people who make it in e-commerce versus those who fail in e-com?
Yeah. So I'd say the marketing is what fully separates, I'm gonna say, the boys from the men. When I say like I fully believe this, you make the product win. For example, if I was going to hand my product to like literally my exact store, right? They could duplicate my exact store. I could just hand it to them. They wouldn't be able to even be profitable. Like I really, really believe this, that it's you make the product a winner through your marketing. So like your marketing needs to be really, 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 really good, right? Extremely good.
Okay.
And the way that you learn it, of course, you can test, right? Of course, you're gonna have to like burn some money a little bit,
Yep.
test. You can learn it through honestly the old marketers, which is like like the Gary Halberts and the Eugene Schwartz. Actually, the best marketing book I'd say is this book that Eugene Schwartz wrote. It's called Breakthrough Advertising.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of that. Yep.
It's extremely good. So learning through the olds and then also just watching a bunch of like YouTube videos and just being
Okay.
obsessed with it, you'll be able to figure it out.
Okay, perfect,
Then
perfect. Yeah, that
just
makes sense.
taking that knowledge and then testing it, taking that action.
Yeah, literally. And I like how you said that. I feel like marketing is everything in every business. You could have the greatest product ever, but if people don't know about it, you're not
Yeah,
gonna get any sales. So I feel like sales and marketing is like an extremely important part of a business. And I feel like a lot of people just they don't take it at face value and they kind of overlook that. Instead, they try to make their product the best product. But sometimes you don't really have to focus on the product too much. Focus on the marketing. Get people in. Because great marketing, I think in my eyes, great marketing can sell a shitty product.
oh,
I
for sure.
strongly believe that. I mean, you see it all the time. So I totally agree with that. And I like that book, Breakthrough Advertising. I've heard of it. I definitely want to grab myself a hardcover copy now because I'm just hearing it so much. And it seems like you've read it and you understand the concepts of it. So I feel like, I mean, do you feel like that book has definitely changed your outlook on certain marketing strategies or? Okay.
Definitely for sure.
Okay, perfect. Okay, okay. So yeah, that's definitely something I'm gonna put it on my Amazon wish list. I might grab that tonight. And I'll let you know how it is
Yeah.
because I definitely
Great
I
book.
definitely want to get in more into that. Now, in this day and age, before we wrap up here, I have two questions for you, two in one. So one, do you think drop shipping is getting harder? And with someone with only $1,000 to their name, how would they start?
I say drop shipping is getting easier. I think it was way harder like back in the day,
Hmm.
especially with AI now. Like you don't it's so easy to build a store. Like it's really, really quick. Like back then it was extremely hard for you to build a professional store. Now you just log into Shopify. Their basic template, right, that is free is already looks good, right? So it's super easy. And now creating ads with AI, you can also create images and all that stuff and Photoshop without actually having to learn how to Photoshop and like pay someone. So the barrier to entry is a lot easier. I definitely would say, but also that also, even though it's a lot easier to do all that stuff, your marketing also needs to be even better.
Yeah.
But I'd say getting started is most people, it's the hardest part, right? So now it's just like the missing piece. You just need to focus on the marketing.
Okay.
That's literally it. And the
Right.
second question, what was the second question?
Yeah, if someone had only $1,000 to their name, where would they start? Or where do you suggest they start?
So buy $1,000, right? Are they trying to do e-com and also do they have money coming in or
Let's say
not?
they don't. Well, let's say they do, but it's a minimum wage job. Let's say they're working at McDonald's, right? They're making like 14 an hour and they have $1,000, that's it. But then they have, other bills and stuff that they have to pay. So if they have $1,000 to their name, making, you know, $14 an hour, what were they doing? Let's say they only had $1,000 to their name and they were in like school or something, so they had no job because it's two different scenarios. I know that second scenario is a lot harder to work with because you only got $1,000, you still got to eat. But I mean, they got dollar ramen at the Dollar Tree. Sometimes you got to sacrifice good meals for just something to get you by. So two different scenarios. What direction would you lead them in?
Yeah, so I'll answer the college one. So the college one, you only got $1,000 to your name and you have no job. You dead ass a bum right now. You actually owe it. There's damn near nothing that I can do for you. You're cooked. But I'll give
Yeah.
you some word of advice because I'm sure a lot of people start thinking, like for me, I started in the whole like entrepreneur also when like I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go the paid ads route, right? You
Okay.
can't at all. Even though I think paid ads is the best way. I'd say you need to spend a lot of time, honestly, like saving your money,
Yeah.
honestly, and just learning.
Okay.
Honestly, just like learn. I would just honestly learn, probably try a different business model that doesn't require a lot of money to start,
Okay.
right? Some sort of like service-based business, calling people's phone and forth. That's honestly like you need to start a business that doesn't require a lot of money to start. And
That
now
makes
going
sense.
over to the McDonald's worker, you're actually in a lot better position than the actual college working, surprisingly, because you have a lot of time. I'd first
That was funny. Surprisingly, that's that was man. Not in the best position, but
you
definitely
have
better.
to So the McDonald's worker, at first, you also should try to cut as many because obviously you're not making a ton of money, right?
Yeah,
You need to one, need to try to see if you could maximize and try to work as much hours as possible because you only make like $15, right? An
yeah,
hour, which isn't that much, but try to work. So ask your boss, try to work as much as possible. And then two, try to lower your bills as low as possible. And with that, you should be able to pull together and be able to, you have that $1,000 to start, right? You
yeah.
should be able to pull together $1,000 to the ecom business every single month through that. So the McDonald's worker, you actually can start and do this. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Live below your means, especially if you're not making that much money. Live below your means. You don't have to go all in and try to do a whole bunch of crazy things because you see everyone else online making a whole bunch of money. Take it step by step. It's brick by brick.
Yeah.
And just to add on to that, if you're working at McDonald's, fix your resume. Try to get a better paying job.
Yeah.
Learn how to
Facts.
speak. Learn how to present. There's jobs out here. Try to get a better paying job that at least pays you. I mean, depending on who you are, you could get at least minimum 20. I mean, it's not much better, but it's something. It moves the needle a bit. And if you can shoot for higher than that, shoot for higher than that. But if you were working at McDonald's, you're probably not going to get anything higher than 20. But there's hope for everyone, right? There's hope for everyone. But to close this out, if someone was watching this and they want to make their first $10,000 online, what would you tell them starting tomorrow? Now, let's put all the factors away. They have more than 1,000. They have a steady job, but they're just looking to make their first $10,000 online. What advice would you give them?
Yeah. So I'd say, right, they need to start as soon as possible, right? Start now. I'd honestly I'm really, really big in like supplement or beauty. So find a product that like runs out, right? Honestly, you'd be able to find one on like, honestly, just like scrolling through TikTok, right? Honestly, just scrolling through TikTok or even like TikTok shop. So I'd go on TikTok shop, try to find whatever's like the best selling like supplement or beauty,
Yep.
and then go over to AliExpress and type in that product and find something that's like white labeled that looks, different, but is essentially the exact same thing. And then create your store, right? Using the basic Shopify template, right? And then create ads and of course, you're going to study marketing, but create ads using AI, right? You can even create like AI images using like ChatGPT. And there's this tool called like Nano Banana Pro it's the best at images. It's insane,
It is amazing.
right? So I'd do that, and then I'd also create AI UGC videos. I'd use like ARC ads and just go at it. Run Facebook ads, start testing.
Perfect. No, I love that. I think that's amazing advice. And just to kind of go off that, what tools would you think they should use to kind of, run the ecom business and also get some of those ads out just so they have a better understanding?
Yeah, so I would use, like I said, ARC ads
Hmm.
for video ads, right? And then Nano Banana or ChatGPT image for the image ads. So that pretty much covers all the different types of ads, video ads and image ads. And then, like I mentioned before, on how to run the Facebook campaign, you would
Yeah,
just run one CBO, $100 a day, right? And then you also have your Shopify store and you're using the basic templates. You're not spending pretty much any money. You're just spending the fucking like, I think it's like $50 a day. No, not a day, $50 a month for Shopify. And that's just like to host for your entire website. That's
exactly.
essentially all you need to start. So really not a lot. The main thing is, right, you have the AI tools to create the ads, and then you also have the knowledge that you gain from just like learning from YouTube videos, from the olds, the books, and then applying that knowledge using the AI tools, bringing that to life. That's it.
Perfect. No, I love that. Love that. And I totally agree with you. You don't need too much. Keep it simple. Just like you mentioned before, it's very simple. Just try to get to that next step, brick by brick. Knowledge is everything, like you mentioned. A lot of people underestimate what learning can do in any space. Once you learn certain things, you can apply those things. Um, because there's nothing more important than applied knowledge. So now I definitely appreciate you for that. And letting people know how they can make their first 10,000
Oh yeah,
online. It is not easy, but it's easier than people think.
for
It
sure.
is. It's easier than people think to make your first $10,000 online. And then from there you can just compound. But yeah, so all right, guys, that was the episode. Huge shout out to my boy for coming on and breaking down how he's making over 6 figures a month in e-commerce. Hopefully, you guys got some real value from this and saw what actually goes on behind the scenes of running an e-com store. And I know you guys will definitely. Well, I'm hoping that you guys will start implementing some of the things that he mentioned here in this episode because it was a lot of valuable information. And I feel like he really broke things down to where people could start taking action tomorrow. Um, Instead of just trying to have that analysis paralysis and trying to look up everything and just wait until it's perfect. So, huge shout out to him on that. But if you guys enjoyed this conversation, please do not forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment if you have any questions below about e-commerce that we may bring back for a part two, or we may answer in the comments below. And if you want to see more interviews with people that are building real businesses online, stay tuned. We have more coming. But before we close out, do you have anything you want to say to the viewers?
Yeah, I got one thing. McDonald's workers, you got this. College, you're cooked.
Yeah, yeah,
You
facts. Nah,
you
you
may have to
definitely
wait
could.
4 years. It's gonna be a
Definitely
long
could.
time for you. But
Definitely
McDonald's
could.
workers, start cooking those fries, even though you only make $15 an hour, but you can start
You'll be all
e-com
right. Yeah,
today.
you good. You good. You good. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of people that work McDonald's, Burger King, Dunkin's, whatever the case is. That means there's no excuses. If you're making money, there should be no excuses why you can't live below your means. Stack up some money and put it towards something you believe in every month. There's no reason. There's no reason. Literally no reason. You heard it first from him, and you heard it from me as well. So, college kids, good luck. I wish you the best. You guys I think you guys are cooked on that. Or get a job, get a little job. Become a server or something. There's money out here, guys. There's legitimate money out here. It's just what you do with it. So if you make the right choices and decisions, you could turn $1 into $100. But yeah, no, like I said, huge shout out to my boy. It's been a pleasure, Julian. We definitely got to run this back, see how you're doing within the next couple of months or the next year or so. And just give the audience what they're looking for, which is that value. But I definitely appreciate you jumping on tonight. I know it's a bit late, so I'm gonna let you go. I know you got work to do. So yeah, like I said, appreciate you coming on. And until next time, everyone else, drop a like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you have any questions about e-commerce. But until next time, we're out.